You've put in the hours, you've streamed late into the night, you've grinded through technical issues, algorithm changes, and the endless sea of content creators, but something still isn't clicking. Growth is slow, monetization feels out of reach, and you're wondering, what am I missing?
Wait.
On top of the fridge?
Yeah, I can get syrup from the top of the fridge.
It's about hiding and staying alive for a long time. And then...
One of the best chat messages of the year was you guys getting yourselves banned. You're doing it again!
What if I told you that the difference between you and the content creators pulling thousands of viewers isn't just dumb luck or algorithms, it's marketing. And the nice thing is that you can master this, and I want to show you exactly how. One thing I absolutely despise though is how many of these YouTube building channels, they all talk about you have to have the most quality, or do rituals, or different things that they have found within their content creation journey, which probably have worked, but they don't really get into thinking or the strategy of why. They don't give you a proper plan. They don't put yourself and your own subjective nature first. And I think that that's something that's crucial that should be mentioned. Another thing is, like they say, to post consistently or post to different channels. It's all boring, and we've all heard it at least once before. But I want to welcome you to a 5-step framework that will help you turn you from a content creator into a marketing genius. I want to start with step 1, which is your brand, or obviously cultivating who you are. This is a very obvious step to a lot of people and a very general base, but I want you to start asking yourself questions to optimize your content for growth, because you need to know who you are. So some of these things could be like, think about it like your favorite gaming protagonist. What are their core traits? What do they stand for? What's their journey? And think about how you can define this for yourself. Other ways to be able to define it is hobbies, interests, favorite games, and then what kind of content would you enjoy creating in the long term. But I urge you to be able to pick 3 to 4 core content ideas that you could commit to for at least 6 months to a year, or possibly even for 3 months at least. It's not going to be permanent, because at the end of the day, you just want to be able to test this strategy, right? And you want to test what works. Another thing that you should obviously do during this process is establish your limits or your boundaries, right? What are you willing to do versus what are you not comfortable with, right? And what that means is that, say for me as an example, I was very big into Make Meme Dream. That's what I used to be called on Twitch and on YouTube. And I did a lot of things for the memes, and I did a lot of things for that. And a lot of the time I was just like, oh, humor is what's going to get me far, right? But it doesn't necessarily have to be, because the biggest thing is that you should be doing something that makes you happy. I didn't want to look like a fool in front of the camera forever, right? And I know that a lot of people are still going to do that because that's the nature of Twitch streaming. But I want you to think long term, what do you want people to see you as? Define those goals and plan your streaming content routine for at least those 3 months. Later on, we're going to talk about reassessing and adjusting based on the results, but this is what I want you to start doing. Define little tiny milestones, things that you want to do in the short term and things that you want to do for long term growth. And these types of goals would be, I want to raise this amount for charity, or I want to be able to hit my speedrun target of less than 1 hour. These are the long-term goals that you eventually want to hit. Micro goals could be, oh, I just want to have at least 3 chatters, right? And you're going to be able to figure out the building blocks because of who you already previously established and what are the things you're willing to do to get to that point. Something that I do urge you to be able to find this content brand voice is to identify content creators who mirror your type of personality or things that you may already be watching. And I want you to take a look at something that they do. I want you to see how they provide value. These are things that show you, I'll show you this in a little bit, and I'll show you how this works. But for now, just think about how they're going to show you value. And overall, this is how you start. This is your building block. This is going to be your base. This is everything that you are, who you're going to be, and you already have your plan. You're ready to go. All right, step 2, providing value. And a news flash, streaming isn't about you. It's not who you are. They could care less. I mean, obviously, there are some people that might enjoy your personality, and sometimes your value is going to be about who you are. Think about all these beauty creators that are like, wow, you have the greatest complexion, and a lot of the times people are going to be like, oh, I come for them, their personality. It's like sometimes it might just be their looks, right? Or it might just be about them, right? But they're giving that specific value back to that person. I want you to think about what other types of value that you can provide. If you're not that type of person, this is what we should see. And to be able to do this, we're going to create a new list, right? The first question is going to be, who is my audience? What are they going to gain from my content? Am I solving a problem? What emotions am I tapping into? And is my content unique? But think about that content uniqueness in a very specific way. I'll alliterate on that. Whether it's entertainment, education, inspiration, or sheer chaos, figure out your why. If you're just hitting live to go live, or making a YouTube video just to make a YouTube video with no plan, you're throwing darts in the dark, right? And your content isn't just about what you want, it's about what your audience needs. And I can't iterate that point more than enough. If you nail that, you'll never struggle to grow. As we take a look at this uniqueness, this is going to be a very unique way to look at this, because you could be doing something that somebody else is doing, but because of who you are as a person, and this is going to be a little bit of a irony, is that they're still going to want to watch it because you presented that uniquely different from the other person. Thing is that you want to go deeper into that, right? What is it that they really enjoy from what I do versus what this other person does? And a lot of the time, I want you to think of this more so where, let's say we have Todd, and Todd plays a lot of Call of Duty, right? And then you have James. James plays a lot of Call of Duty on stream. They're both playing the exact same game. They're both just dialed in, and they're both looking to get kills. That's not unique. No person is going to necessarily look at this person and they're going to say, wow, you're really providing me a lot of value. Or James, you're really providing me with a lot of value. You're not. You're simply not. Because these two people are doing the exact same thing as 50, maybe 500 people. And now let's put a different spin to this, right? Now you have Thomas. Thomas is playing Call of Duty. He spins the wheel or does a dance every single time he hits a sick clip, or ends up having a better editing style. This is where you leverage a skill, because they did it differently, but they're both still doing the exact same thing, right? So I want you to think about outside of the box for this. What makes yours different from this other person? That's where the uniqueness is going to lie. You should experiment with different formats, different structures. Definitely use a little bit more ideas to be able to realize, where can I do something different here? And this isn't necessarily just for gaming content. Obviously, I am doing this primarily for Twitch or YouTube, but this could be for anything. This could be for, I am somebody that goes to the gym and I want to look great. Am I going to post the same video of me lifting weights and the other person lifting weights? I'm going to make a video possibly lifting weights, but in a very cool scenery, right? Like, imagine I bring those weights out into the middle of the woods and I just start pumping. This is my forest workout. Nobody really does that. Why would you? I don't know. But somebody is going to look at it and they're going to see it and they're going to be like, wow, that's unique. That's different. I never would have expected that. Overall, all of this is to say, remember, we want to talk about the 5 things. Who is my audience? What value do they need? What will someone gain from my content? Does my content solve a problem or answer a question? and what kind of emotion am I conveying? And then the last one, is my content unique compared to what's already out there? Overall, you want to provide value. You want to show something unique that somebody might not have seen before. Now we're going to go to step number 3. First one, identifying your brand. Second one, providing value. The third one, and I think that this one is very interesting, but it's incentivizing engagement, right? And what I mean by this is when somebody follows, people don't just want to follow your content, they want to follow communities. Or what are you giving your audience besides content? How are you rewarding these people with their loyalty, and are you making them feel seen, right? So this is more about building relationships or reward engagement. Make your audience feel like they're part of something bigger. This is part of that nurturing process where you're going to look at them and you're going to say, oh, I am going to give you a book that is going to help you further your life exponentially. And from there, people are going to be like, wow, that's amazing. You know, you're going to start aligning with your audience's interest and like focus on what they love and combine it with what your values are from what we spoke about earlier. Create more value based off of your values. I'm going to say value a lot because it's true. And you can foster an environment where your audience feels compelled to share your content. You can build a lot of expertise. If you're not a big person in the subject matter, you should leverage your skills to become somewhat more of an expert than you were when you first started. They'll be interested in your growth and your journey as you build along. You know, you should show your work. You should show that you're in it for the long haul and that you appreciate them, because I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody that's watched this video right now. And what I want to do is give back to you, because I went to school. I decided to leverage my skills, go back to school, get my bachelor's degree in marketing, and now I want to teach all my content creators, or specifically my Twitch and YouTube community, my fam, as I would say, because I loved the community aspect that was going on there, but I felt like nobody understood what was going on, or they always were trying something different and doing things that everybody else wanted to do, but never providing enough uniqueness to themselves, never really incentivizing. It's like, oh, when you sub, what does that do, right? For a lot of people, in reality, maybe it doesn't do much, right? But if you were to put something there, and I think that this was really cool. Back in the past, there were people that I knew that did sub stickers, right? It wasn't that big of a thing. It was a little bit costly, but you best believe that I still have their stickers to this day, and or a magnet, and I love them, and I'm never gonna forget that experience of when it showed up in the mail, right? When it showed up in the mail and I was like, this is a part of them, this is a part of the person that gave this to me. This is building that incentive, building that engagement, really showing how you're a part of their community and what you can do for them. This is a part that I feel like many people will probably disagree, because a lot of the time they mostly just don't understand it. But step number 4 is mastering analytics. Numbers don't lie, but they do tell a story. And if you're only looking at follower count or likes, you're missing the entire point. You want to be able to look at the right metrics: watch time, engagement rates, retention, where do people click off, and what content keeps them hooked. I cannot speak. Look at the right metrics: watch time, engagement rates, retention, where do people click off of your video, and what content keeps them hooked, right? Data isn't just numbers, it's a map, and we want to follow it and adjust it, and you're going to be able to find your winning strategy here. I want you to look up key performance indicators. Just whoever you are, look up key performance indicators. All it really means is, what are these metrics that you're looking at, right? Each one has a different type of metric, and you can have multiple versions of these. But these metrics, I would never take a look at just average viewership, follows, or likes. These 3 are the most not useful metrics that there could be, because somebody could be inflating your likes completely. Somebody could be watching your channel but not really engaging in it in average viewership. And follows could be, oh, I'm gonna follow this person but I'm never gonna watch them ever again. right? You want to be able to look at how they've watched, how many unique viewers came into your stream or your YouTube. If you gained external viewership from another platform and they somehow came to here, that's a win. Those are the metrics we want to capture, and we want to kind of see where those people are coming from. What points did your video, and what's an average point? Because here's kind of a YouTube graph. You'll see it go from the very beginning, they'll hear your voice and they'll be like immediate click off, right? And from there, your metrics will go down to about like 10-20%. You want to try to get that higher, right? Another thing is you want to incentivize being able to engage your viewers and have them comment on your stuff. You want to be able to talk to them. And if you haven't noticed yet, we haven't talked anything about algorithm, right? And algorithms are more tricky, but the bare bones of most of these things is that you're doing these things and you're doing them well enough that if you have people engaging with your views or the things that are providing people value, it's going to drive this growth. It's going to show this algorithm or this purpose that you want to be able to grow, right? And maybe I could be a little bit wrong on that. I would love for your guys' insight, because I'm not an algorithm based, I'm more about the strategy. But overall, from what I've seen, this is true. And you could talk about different strategies such as like rage baiting or drama, but either way, these things are providing value to people and there's different psychologies related to it. But I'm giving you a bare bones comparison of what you should be aligning your metrics for and kind of giving your marketing specific purpose, right? You need to tailor your content and your metrics to be able to work towards your long-term goals or your marketing objectives or these key performance indicators or KPIs for short that you should understand for your long-term growth. Step 5, I want to talk about how even the best creators hit walls. Burnout is real, and that's why step 5 is about recalibrating. Every 3 months, take a step back, what's working and what is not. If something feels stale, you want to innovate, refresh your visuals, shake up your format, and reignite your creativity. There's a saying that a lot of people do is do 1% better of whatever your last stream or your last YouTube video was. And this is in relation to that, right? So content creation is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And what I mean by that is the biggest names in the game didn't get there overnight. They learned, they adapted, and they played in the long game. They saw that things did not go their way for the very beginning, and so now they can pivot and switch to something new. But you don't want to do it too quickly, or else you're going to lose everything that you had worked for in the past, and you don't want to do it drastically enough that you completely pivot off of what you originally built up. And there's two instances for this, right? Say you're a variety streamer, right? And a lot of times Twitch streamers do this. They start playing a game and they play it for about a month or 2 months, right? Say it's the latest FPS shooter. In this comparison, it's going to be Marvel Rivals. And then say by the recording of this video, Fragpunk comes out next week and you pivot over to that and you start making content for that, even though you've been making Marvel Rivals content for the past 3 months. And now at this point, you made a drastic change. Did you make sure, one, you addressed it with your community, the ones that are actually there, see what their thoughts is, see if that you can transition them over? You need to be able to ask yourself these questions and to be able to nurture them into this new category or this new thing. I think that 3 months is an ideal time frame, but it could be aggressive if you had built an entire plan for it. You should search it up, avoid stagnation, but also if you wanted to, you can also experiment at the beginning, see where your growth kind of goes, and then pick one thing and then full pivot into that and then make your plan later. So the example for this would be at the beginning of the video, I told you, create a content plan, stick to it for 3, maybe 6 months to a year. So another thing you can do is play around with all the things that you do love, stream it, but then once you see the thing that you truly feel like you could just stick to, then you could just stay on that for those 3 to 6 months and then you can adjust. overall, just remember it's about your consistency over time, and remember to plan accordingly. Another thing is to revisit the reason why you even started in the first place. A lot of these steps are going to be an iterative process where you're going to go from step one to step two, back to step one, back to step three, back to step one, back to step four. And it's kind of like a circle where it's all encompassing, where it's all going to mesh together into a very big plan to show what you're going to do for your content creation journey. For the last thing that I wanted to talk about is that you already have the tools, you already have the passion, but now you have the roadmap. And the question is, are you going to use this? So one last thing is a disclaimer. And what I want to say is that content creation is a difficult journey. Pay attention to when you feel your signs of burnout, and remember to take time to take care of yourself. You should give yourself grace, because it's okay to take breaks and adjust without feeling guilty. Keep in touch, but just make sure you're not overextending yourself. And just remember that you're doing great, and you should keep pushing forward, and don't forget to just take care of yourself. Appreciate yourself in your journey in content creation, and just pay attention to your body and how you feel when you're making your content. If it's no longer fun, then maybe it's time to take a step back. Really just go back, analyze your purpose, figure out why you wanted to start in the first place. But remember, at the end of the day, you're supposed to have fun. And if you're not having fun, then what's the point? I believe that life should be worth having fun with your content. If it's fulfilling to you at the end of the day, if you're having fun with it, that's all that matters. Overall, if this helped you, make sure you like and subscribe. And remember, illuminate your content with greatness. And I'll see you guys on the next one.